welcome to another one where we're starting at Rotorua today. Yeah, a bit boring watching me taxi down a runway, so let's cut that bit out and we're ready for takeoff. Yeah, a little bit blowy, got 9 knots, mostly sideways, but that's okay. Bit off to the right on the runway, but yeah, we're fine, we're away. Okay then. Right then, so yeah, I've had a try of a few things now with the XP Career plugin, and I'm going to say it's not for me. Nothing wrong with it, it's fine. It appears to all work as it should. It's just not really a thing that was exciting me in any way. Yeah, to start with, when you first load it up, you get one free plane to start your fleet, and I went for the Islander. You then have to go through a check ride, which doesn't take too long. Basically, it's take off, then you get a height and a heading to fly for a short while, with quite large margins for error in that, and you do that 4 times with different headings and altitudes, and then land again at the same airfield which you took off from. Now, a check ride, that's a short flight and a test of your skills at flying the chosen aircraft. Or at least that's what I think of when I hear the words check ride, which is then a little strange as XP Career didn't seem to notice that I'd stopped flying the plane myself and was using the autopilot, but never mind. Yeah, I passed that. So then you move on to the actual game part, and there's a list of jobs to do. Quite a long list, although a number of them are jobs where you don't go anywhere. Parachute jumps, for instance. Yeah, you just need to be at a particular altitude and speed roughly over the airfield, and your parachutists then exit the plane. Then you go and land again at the original airfield. Now you can see the parachute, which is nice, but it's all a little bit too much of a gimmick kind of thing for me, the sort of stuff that you do once and then quite probably never bother with again. Although not to worry, because again, there is quite a long list of passenger and cargo jobs, so at least you now get to go somewhere else, and that's the sort of thing which I wanted the plugin for. So there's plenty of jobs to choose from, but looking more closely, everything was going to only one of 3 destinations. So it seems a lot of different people had showed up at my home base of Taupo and all wanted to go to Fox Pine Aerodrome. There's a whole load of different cargo jobs as well that also had to go to Fox Pine. And there are other airfields all fairly close by to there. Ohakia, Fielding, Palmerston North, Kaputaroa. We're not short on destinations in the same in New Zealand. I know that because I built nearly all of the airports. So it just seemed a little bit strange and unrealistic to only have choice of 3 places to fly. But I mentioned Fox Pine, and that was where I did take the job, so I ended up with a load of cargo to take down there, and here's where it started to dawn on me that XP Career really wasn't for me. As in real life, I'm sure I'd enjoy a flight from Taupo to Fox Pine, but in the sim it's a bit too far. You're in the air for too long. Yeah, for X-plane flying it's not a huge diversion to call in at, say, Taihape NZVR for instance, which is more of a length of flight which I usually take, like little short hops. So there's lots of takeoffs and landings, which are the most fun part for me. Yeah, with the greater distances, XP Career leaves you in the cruise for longer than I really want. Now I know a lot of people do take flights, longer flights, hour or more, and for those kind of users I think it would be great. For me, doing a lot of little flights to the smaller rural and bush kind of places, I'm not sure XP Career is really the thing that you want. It probably wasn't really designed for that kind of thing, so I'm not going to say anything bad about it. It works as advertised. It's just not a thing that I'm likely to want to use again in the near future, simply because of my choice of the sort of flying that I do. But yeah, it wasn't that expensive, so worth a try, but there you go. Yeah, plus I don't find it that hard. Well, the plugin gives you jobs, reasons to make a flight, and I've never had any issues with making up my own objectives for going somewhere. Such as today, for instance. Someone at Tauranga had ordered from a company in Rotorua an emergency banana peeler, as her banana peeler wasn't working properly. So we're taking the banana peeler over there as an express delivery. Don't worry, Tiffany, your new banana peeler is on its way. Yeah, look at some of the people who are going to inherit the planet, and I'm kind of glad that I'm getting older and I'll be dead soon. Yeah, so in other news, and a really, really long flight, we've been to the moon again. Well, close to it anyway, as they didn't land this time, just testing a few things. I believe Artemis 3 will also be a test flight, then Artemis 4 in about 2 years. That will land on the moon again. And cool thing I only found out about this week though, in Greek mythology, Artemis is the sister of Apollo. Apollo being the mission that went to the moon last time. So, kind of cool. The other cool thing, of course, is since the Apollo missions, we've now developed the internet, and that's brilliant because we now get to see all the flat earth people on YouTube trying to tell us how it's all fake, it didn't happen, it's CGI and stuff like that. Yeah, watching some of that and seeing the flat earthers freak out has been amusing. Definitely been enjoying that. Right, then we are getting closer now, and keeping a brief eye on the wind shown on the map. It has been fluctuating a bit during the journey from 9 knots to light and variable, so nothing too much to worry about either way. We're currently 4 knots, 290 degrees, so we'll head for runway 25. I think it's a bit more visually appealing coming in the other way on runway 7, but we'll do it properly. Although a small plane, small tailwind and quite a long runway, it wouldn't make a great deal of difference, but we're heading for 25 now, so 25 it is. Coming from the coastal end. Off on a tangent for just a moment, got the airport live stream from Birmingham running while I'm editing this. I'm not sure what the context is, but just noticed a post in their live chat from a guy saying, "I had one helicopter flight years ago on the Great Barrier Reef. It was amazing." I'm sorry, the roof is fucking underwater. Why would you go and see that from a helicopter? I give in. It might make sense if I scroll back some of the chat to see what the general discussion was on about at the time, but then again, he just might be the sort of person who uses a banana peeler. I don't know. Yeah, there is a reason why I don't use that chat when I watch their live stream though. So some of the regulars do sometimes post mind-numbingly stupid things, and I'd get banned from the chat for taking the piss out of them if I ever did use it. So that big white building in line with the runway which we'll fly over is the Bayfair Shopping Centre, 4.3 stars on Google Maps, and includes a review by Mr. Frank saying, "Our visit to the Bayfair Shopping Centre in Manganui was the highlight of our time in the Bay of Plenty." For fuck's sake. If going to a shopping centre is a highlight, you need to get better hobbies. Definitely sit down and think about your life choices, Mr. Frank. This could be interesting. I can see an icon on the map for a small aircraft which appears to be lined up to land at the other end of the runway. Yeah, Traffic Global AI, it isn't always great with choosing an active runway. Maybe the author spends too much time in shopping centres, I don't know, but yeah, we seem to have two airplanes landing at the same time from different ends. Not going to give up though, we might be okay. So doubt either of us are going to need more than half of the runway to land on. So this may actually be a safe and efficient way of doing it. Double the aircraft movements with only a minimal risk of a head-on collision. Teranga may well be onto something quite revolutionary here. Let's see. We're down, and so's he. A fairly average landing, as I was spending a bit more time looking at the other guy rather than paying attention to my own flight, but yeah, we're both down and everything was fine. He's going to get to the turn off just before me, isn't he? So we'll let him go first. Yeah, double landings for general aviation aircraft. This is the future. Neither of us having to go into holding patterns or extending legs, so it's fuel saving and helping to save the planet. Greta would be very happy with Teranga's ATC's new system. Guessing you're going to do a left and head round to where the general aviation parking is. Yeah, and as you have done, then I'm going to go straight on and park by the main terminal rather than waiting for you. Oh. There'll be a sandwich between two New Zealand ATRs. That will do. Yeah, so I'll unload Tiffany's banana peeler, and yeah, that will be it for another one where we got to experience a double ender. I'll see you again soon.